Sag, hello, Amanda here. Welcome to the Unseen Hands Collective. This is going to be your December shift reading. So we're looking at the shape you're shifting out of this month, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shape shift looks and feels like. Your image, Sag, is deeply intimate. It's so gorgeous. So first I saw a key turning in a lock and opening a door, and I'm like, okay, cliche metaphor, great. Right? Another cliche metaphor for me to give you. But then I was very clearly directed to slow down. It was like, hold on. Don't just throw that away. Go back to the image and go slow. So I was like, okay. Went back. And I tell you that whole trajectory of my experience with this image because I think it's part of the advice for you. I went back to it and I went slow. And I put the key into the lock, and then I got to experience every little sensation along the way of the unlocking. First, the small joy of realizing and relief of realizing that the key fit into the lock. It's like, okay, whoa, I have the right key. I didn't just truck over that experience. I got to have the realization. Okay, wonderful. Then I begin to turn the key, and as I turn slowly, I get to have the sensual experience of feeling each gear move out of the way. And then finally, the final click. And then the door just like naturally swings open. You know, it's this very natural release that happens when you slow down and you don't force it and you don't try to get to the end result. You get to experience the lusciousness and the intimacy of each little movement along the way and each sensation along the way. I really like this image for you and it works well with the cards, so let's get into it. We are using the 5th Spirit Tarot, this beautiful new deck by Charlie Claire Burgess. I'm so excited to get to know this deck with you in these December shift readings. So, the shape you're shifting out of, Sag, is the 5 of Swords, and the shape you're shifting into is Strength. And here's what I see. I see a whole lot of failed attempts. And this is like a flag of surrender. Sort of a battle with this particular lock. And I see these swords as different implements or keys that you've tried to use before of, well, that won't work, and that won't work. And it's sort of it's a more forceful approach that clearly has had its day in the sun for you and is no longer working. It's the moment of realizing that constantly trying to fight with the door is a losing battle and deciding to just stop fighting. 5 of Swords, just stop fighting. And so when you stop fighting with this lock, funny enough, it begins to release. We see this slow process of a person getting to know perhaps their newly adopted pit bull. And you know, again, it's sort of like the pit bull is another representation of the safe that won't crack, you know, this narrative with certain kinds of dog breeds of like, well, they're just too far gone, you know, or like they've been through too much trauma. They're never going to trust a human. And the key word in this whole reading, really, Sag, is trust. Because beautifully, that's what the dog is pointing to, and that's what's tattooed on this person's leg. Is when this, and in this relationship, it took time to unfold. It took dedication and tenderness and slowness. These two went slow with each other. They didn't just try to find the right key to unlock the problem, right? It's a different approach. It's an approach that says, okay, you're not a problem. This isn't a problem. Let's get to know each other Let me learn you. And we will go slow together and begin to unlock this trust between us. And eventually, here we are, this sweet pitty doesn't even need to be on leash. No leash, no collar, total trust. Here's what the shapeshift looks and feels like. It's the Knight of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the Page of Swords. And the important trajectory here is the shift between the swords. Because again, I'm kind of seeing these swords as keys. Rather than the approach of the Five of Swords, which I think has to do with this Knight of Swords energy that I feel is, it's rushing. It's quite simply. And I'm almost seeing this as like a jousting spear of like, okay, I'm gonna back up and then I'm gonna fly in there and it's going to open. You know, it's a forceful approach. It is, it is rushing, stampeding energy here. And the shift to a much more easeful unfolding and unlocking decides when you stop being a battering ram. You know, this is a completely different way to work with the swords. That sword is very gently chilling on the shoulder, and this person's just learning. Okay, let me take an approach where I decide to learn rather than push to know. Let me back way up and be in a position of absorbing information. And I'm feeling that very much as like a felt sensual experience, sensation. Like lean into the somatic experience of it if that is something that feels okay for you. Not everybody gets with somatics. That's cool. By somatics, I mean like the physical body awareness, the experience in the body of certain sensations or feelings. And so there's something about lean back and let it come to you. And that happens, this like much more easeful and much more relaxed approach to unlocking whatever this is that you're trying to unlock happens when, first of all, you trust yourself. And that's the Queen of Wands for me. And there's a really beautiful continuity happening between November's shift reading for you and now December. So in November, it was like you are no longer the apprentice. The magician hands you the wand and says, you're ready. You're ready to use this wand to make your own magic. And so here you are a month later with the wand. And what's beautiful is the advice here is rather, there's something sort of insecure to me about pushing in this way, in this energy. There's something like, well, I better hurry up and get this done, and I better put all this out, or I better like push my way through this, or what, right? Or what? So you can prove something, or like, what is that? What is that, you know? Because what I'm feeling from the Queen of Wands is like, hey, you know, like, hey, lean back into your power and see what happens. You know, like, how about you find your seat? Find your seat and sit on it. Spread your legs out, you know, like really ground into your confidence and your power. And it's sort of that thing of like, you know, I have an acting background, and when I was doing theater and you're playing like a very confident character, there's like playing at confidence, which would maybe look like, you know, like a very forward approach to being confident, which I think is this. And then there's actual confidence, embodied confidence. People who are truly so confident, they actually lean back. Like that real confidence comes when you take that energy and pull it back. And you sit firmly in it. It's not a retreat. It's a you know? I'm so firm in my power, in my identity, in my confidence, in my magic, that actually I don't even have to use it if I don't want to. Because I am the magic. And it's like once you feel that level, your approach changes from I need to go because I need to do this and I need to put all this out and I need to push to, oh, okay, wait. I don't have to push it all because I'm already the shit. So let me just read the book I want to read. Let me just learn a little bit about this. It's like you have to have serious confidence actually to continuously cultivate a beginner's mind. And the thing is, the beginner's mind is where the magic always is. You know, so I think this is the process of remembering that. And when you do, oh my gosh, the results, right? The trust in yourself and then the trust that you can gain with others is just so much more rich. And suddenly it unlocks. Okay. I love this reading. Oh, Sagittarius. I can't wait to dig deeper into this now. I'm going to take it into an extended reading. We're going to use other decks, pull cards, see what more we can get out of this. So if this energy is resonating with you and you want to see the extended, follow me over to unseenhandscollective.com. You can purchase it in the shop. You can join a monthly membership and access it there. You can also access your astrology scopes, your guidebooks to help you through this December energy. So hope to see you over there. Thanks for joining here, Sag. Talk to you soon. Move in a different direction because it's going to take me to something that is actually more satisfying for me in relationships. That does actually build the trust, because it's like when you stack a bunch of, I'm seeing this, wow, when you stack a bunch of cups, but they're not actually on solid ground, like there's some connections being made, but nothing's actually stacked, landed, grounded, then I'm like seeing throwing something at this stack or like rolling a bowling pin and the whole thing coming down. So it's like, okay, hold on. Let me not do that. Let me not just like start stacking emotional investment in relationships or in whatever I'm building quickly to try to build a semblance of intimacy that hasn't actually been earned. I'm sweating. Right? That the energy's so intense that hasn't actually been earned. And God, this could be intimacy with your magic. This could be intimacy with another person. This could be intimacy with your work, your community, whatever. But it's like, I can't do what I've done in the past, which is rush that emotional investment.